good evening, wherever you are watching us from. I want to teach you how to transfer this measurement into body pattern. That is, I want to make a female, this measurement is for female, so I want to make a female body pattern. So let's get started. The materials you need tape rule, you need ruler, you need pen, chalk or pencil, you need scissors, also you need paper. Maybe brown paper or daily that is newspaper or whatever. And make sure you fold your paper into two, because we always cut fabric when we fold it into two. So fold your own paper or your fabrics, fold it into two. We always cut fabrics on fold. So with this our measurements: the shoulder 14, bust 34, under bust 29, natural waist 28, hip 34, front bodice 15, shoulder to under bust we have 10, and also shoulder to natural waistline we have 14. So with this our measurements, since our paper is unfold or our fabrics unfold, we take our tape rule and measure 7. Since our shoulder is 14 divided by 2, we get 7. So this 7, we are going to measure it on our paper here. See, so 7 inches. Because of joining at the shoulder here for sleeve, to join sleeve with bodice, so we put ½ inch, so making 7.5. So I'm going to draw my line, a straight line, So from there we are going to measure 1 inch from 7.5. For where we put our dots for 7.5, we are going to take another 1 inch there. So this is 1 inch. This 1 inch is for shoulder slanting, because naturally our shoulder is not straight, it's a little bit slant. So we put 1 inch. So from there we draw a slant line to connect these dots. Yes, connect the dots. From this place we want to draw our armhole line. There is a formula for it, but this one I've been using it and it's working for me, and I believe it's going to work for you too. So this shoulder line, I said 2 divided by 40 is 7. So I'm going to take 7 here, not from the dot up here, but from this place where I started my 1 inch. So I'm going to measure 7. Let me put it off so that you can see it well. 7. So I'm going to add another ½ inch to it for shoulder joining, to join front bodice with back bodice. So I'm going to put ½ inch to it for shoulder joining. So 7.5. So let's just say 7.5 from shoulder for shoulder length, and 7.5 for armhole length. So this is my 7.5 from this place to this place, 7.5. I take my 1 inch here for slanting, and from this place slanting, I put tape rule to measure 7.5 again. So this line I'm going to draw now will serve our bust line. So from there, that's where we are going to measure our bust line. So our bust here is 34. So 34 divided by 4. This is the formula for bust, to cut it on fabrics or pattern like this. So bust is 34. 34 divided by 4 is going to give us 8.5. 8.5. I'm going to add 2 inch allowance to it for sewing and lining, but this depends on the type of style you want to sew. If it is t-shirt, you only need ½ inch or 1.5 or 1 inch rather. But for party dress or whatever, because of lining and some other journeys, so that it will not be too tight for the person that owns it or yourself. So we are going to add 2 inches to it. So 2 inches plus 8.5, it gives us 10.5 inches. So we are going to mark our 10.5 here. 10.5. So this is going to be our bust line. So in this measurement we have shoulder to under bust is 10. So we are going to put our tape rule here to this edge. We are going to measure a straight line. We're going to measure like this, 10 inches. 10. This is 10. So from this 10 we are drawing a parallel line here. Parallel line, a straight parallel line. So from there our under bust is 29. 29 divided by 4 is going to give us 7. Yes, it's going to give us 7 1/4. It's going to give us 7 1/4. 4 divided by 29. It's going to give us 7 1/4 or 7.25. So from this bust under bust line, we are going to measure 7.25 or 7 1/4 plus 2 inches allowance. So that's going to be 9 1/4. So 9 1/4, we put our dot. This is 9 1/4 or 9.25. This is our dot here. These are the from under bust line. This is our dots, 9.25. The original measurement is 7.25 or 7 1/4 plus 2 inches allowance. So we have 9 1/4. So we want to go to the next one. From shoulder to natural waist. From shoulder to natural waist is 14. So we take our tape from this place again. We measure 14. 14. Don't forget, this is a shoulder to waistline 14. So we measure 14. This is where we are going to 14. 14. So we are going to draw a parallel line to vertical parallel line. We're going to draw it. So this is waist. That's natural waist. Our natural waist here is 28. This is it. 28. So 28 divided by 4. 28 divided by 4 again is going to give us 7. So 7 plus 2 inches, 9. Don't forget that 2 inches is for allowance. The original measurement is 7. 2 inches, 9. Plus 2 inches, that is 9. So let's connect the dots before we go far. From this armhole line to this waistline, natural waistline, we connect it. It's going to be slant. So we have under bust line here. Connect it. So we are going to curve it. It's not going to be triangular like this. We are going to curve it. Hope you can see it. We curve it. Yes. So from this our armhole here, the total length here is 7.5. So 7.5 divided by 2, we get 3.35. So that is 3/4. You measure it here in the middle of that one. You divide by to get the middle. So because we don't want a saggy armhole, some clothes used to be saggy or whatever, let us take away ½ inch from this middle one. From this middle point, we take ½ inch. So we are going to connect it. There is a right angle here from this line that comes from armhole to the line that we measure our bust. So there is a right angle here. From this right angle, put your tape rule at the middle here and measure 1 inch. Measure 1 inch. So let's now connect the dot. From the shoulder here, we connect it. We connect it with the dot. Don't forget to have taken half. Yeah, we measure half here from the middle of this arm shoulder. So we have taken half. So your dot, as it's coming like this, is going to touch this point where we measure half. Touch this point where we measure 1 inch, and go straight to this place, to our bust line. See, this is our armhole. See, this is our armhole. By this one, no saggy. This is our armhole. So the length of the body, the length of the bodice is 15. Length of the bodice is 15. But this bodice is short. It's a short one. Front bodice measurement is a short one. You will need to put peplum or whatever you want to put under it to join it, so as it can reach hip or wherever. It may even be jumper. This 15 to be jumper. With this measurement, let's add 2 inches to it to make it 17 because of folding. But if your blouse is going to be longer than this, then we need this hip measurement. Hip measurement. We need this hip measurement. Sorry, before we hip measurements. Sorry. So we want to measure 15. 15, that's our body's length. Our body's length is 15 here, according to this measurement. Bodice is 15. Bodice to 15. Bodice is 15. Body's length 15. So if your bodice is going to be longer than this, we need to measure from waistline. Don't forget, this is waistline. From this waistline, the standard measurement to hip is 7. From waistline, the standard measurement is 7 inches. So you mark your 7 inches. So on this 7 inches line, that is where you are measuring your hip. So I'm drawing a parallel line here. Parallel line. So on this parallel line, we are going to measure our hip. Hip is 34. So 34 divided by 4 divided by 34 is going to give us 8.5. 8.5 plus 2 inches, 10.5. So we have it here. We have it. So we are going to connect this line on the waistline to hip line. To the hip line. So that's that. If we need to measure that is from your nipple to nipple, you measure it. The length you are going to divide it by 2. It now depends on the style you want to do. Not all the style that needs that. But this kind of one that we are doing, that we are making fitted blouse, fitted bodies. So we need to put that. So let's assume it's not in this measurement. Let's assume by nipple to nipple is 7. So that 7 I'm going to divide it by 2. Making 3.5. So that gives us 3.5. So 3.5, yeah, from this edge here, from this place, that's where you measure 3.5. 3.5. Nipple to nipple is 7. 7 divided by 2, 3.5. 3.5. So from here, you put your tape here. You measure ½ inch here. You put your tape at the center of this 3.5. ½ inches here, ½ inches here. That will be for joining. ½ inches here, ½ inches here. So from this point, that point, depends on, maybe you want to process that or you just want a straight that. So you can measure like 7 if it is princess that, up to here. If it is other that, I think 7 is okay, or 8, or whatever. It depends on how long you want your that to be. Where's the line? So a straight line to touch this. So if it's a princess that, you curve it to the center. To the center of this armhole. You can see we have gotten our princess that. If you don't want princess that, you can cut it. You may not cut it, you may not reach this place, you may not need to join to the armhole here. But if it's a princess that, you can join it to the armhole. If it is t-shirt, you know you don't need that. If it is kimono, it's not necessary that you put that. So what's next? Our neck line, neck hole. This is the width of the neck. From here to here, you can measure. Depends on how. If it is tiny shoulder you want, you can make it 7. It depends. But for this lesson, I'm going to use 3.5. Yeah. I don't want the neck that will be too wide. For wideness, so width 3.5. For deep, that is neck deep. How deep you want your neck to be. So you can measure 5, you can measure 6. If it is you want to bring out your breast, you can measure 10. It depends. But for this one, I'm going to measure 5. Let me just use 4.5. 4.5. So I'm joining, connecting the dots. Connecting the dots. So this one, you can make your neck line to be 4 corner. You can make it to be round. You can do any style. You can make it to be V. You can make it to be V. If it is V neck, you start your line to touch from here to here. That is for V. If it is curve, you just curve the right angle that is here. If it is 4 corner, you don't need to curve anything. As you join the connect the dots, just cut it out. If you want a design, you can put any design you want there, like this, like this. It depends on the type of what you want. So let's cut our pattern out. Scissors. Sorry, please. Yeah, we need to put extra 2 inches for folding, for blouse folding at the bottom. Let's put extra 2 inches here for blouse folding at the bottom. And if you don't need it, you cut it away. If you use it, fine. You may use 1 inches Depends on what you want to sew. But let's just put 2 inches for this lesson. That means that is where your let's cut. This is just for folding. Let's cut it out and let's see how beautiful our pattern is. The hip is even cuff. So. The scissors you are using to cut fabric, don't use it to cut paper, or else it will be blunt. You not cut fabrics well again. Don't forget you are stopping here, not up here. You are stopping here. That's 1 inch for the slant. You are stopping here and cut it. Yes. For this lesson, I'm cutting round neck. So let's all see the result of our pattern. Let's notch this place so that we know it is for that. You know, if it is for princess that, you are going to cut this place out. As you are going to trace this line out, you cut it out. You cut it out. But because of this, if it's just ordinary pattern, you just need to notch it. So look at our blouse. See our blouse pattern. That's it. But if you are cutting black, I'm sorry, sir. Sorry, please. If you are cutting back in this place, this is for front bodies. For back bodies, you just need to put 2 inches. You leave 2 inches like this for zip at the back. So this is where you place this your pattern on the your pattern on the fabrics or on the paper again if you still want to use paper, and leave 2 inches before you place your pattern. So these 2 inches will serve as zip allowance. If you want to insert zip, if you don't need zip, you don't need to put any 2 inches extra away. But your 2 inches should be from the back end, not this side, from this side. And the neck hole of the back is not always as deep as the front. Or if you want, if it's as this one is for female bodies, it can be as deep as this. Depends. You know, we women, there's no way we cannot wear our clothes. So thank you very much for your time. Like our video, subscribe to our channel, help us to share. God bless you all.